Hi, this is Involved Innovation YouTube channel. In this video, we will see about how to create a simple chat application with functionalities such as common chat room and the ability to send private messages to individual user. And we will use SpringBoot as the backend and ReactJS as the front end. You can find the complete code for this tutorial in my GitHub repository, the link of which I posted in the description. We will see a demo of what we are going to build in this tutorial now. So this is how our application looks once we log in to localhost 3000, and then I will open another browser. So here I will log in as David, and here I will log in as Augustine. Now I can able to see there are two different users and there is only one user here, which is Augustine. That is because this user is logged in second time, but I can able to send a private message to Augustine. So if I need to send private message to Augustine, I need to select this particular user, like how we will select in WhatsApp. Hi Augustine. So once I click send, this message will be sent only to This message will be sent only to Augustine. So if I go to David, you can able to find this user send a private message to the Augustine, and you can able to see that in the David section. If I send a message in Chatroom, that means this message will be broadcasted to all the users. For example, if I send a message here, hi all, and then this will be broadcasted to all the users. So if I open a new incognito browser and I will log in as John here in this case. So if I send hi all, so this message will be propagated to all the users who are logged into this particular website. So this is what we are going to build. The tech stack is the backend is SpringBoot, which uses Stomp and Sock.js, and then the front end is ReactJS. So for the sake of simplicity, I will make this application as simple as possible. So we are not integrating this with database. First, we will see how the backend SpringBoot project works. The Spring uses Stomp. Stomp is a simple text-oriented messaging protocol. Stomp is an envelope for your payload to communicate to and from the server. Stomp wraps your payload and adds a header. Now this Stomp envelope is used to communicate between the client and the server through Websockets. Sock.js gives you a coherent cross-browser JavaScript API which creates a low latency, full duplex, cross-domain communication channel between the browser, that is the client, and the web server. In the WebSocket, we will be creating a long-lived TCP communication between the client and the server. This connection will be used by the client to send the messages to the server, and the server will be sending the data to the client whenever the message received in the topic in which the client subscribed. So we will see this with an example. So here in this case, as I mentioned, we have three different clients: client 1, client 2 and client 3, and in the backend we have 4 topics. So there is a chat room topic, and there is a client 1 topic, and then there is a client 2 topic, and then there is a client 3 topic. So here, as I mentioned before, we are using Stomp as an envelope which wraps around our payload and it adds its own header, and this Stomp will be understood by our client as well as our backend. So this Stomp message will be going back and forth between the client and the server. So here in this case, the client 1 sends the Stomp message with the payload to the mapping address /public chat. Whenever a message is reached the public chat URL, so that message will be sent to the topic chat room. Here there are 3 different clients: client 1, client 2, client 3 subscribe to this particular topic. So in this case, this message will be broadcasted to all the users who are listening to this particular topic. So this message will be sent to client 1 and client 2 and client 3. So here we will also see another example how an individual private chat works. So here in this case, the client 1 sends message to the URL private chat /client 2. This message reaches the server, and then this message will be sent to the topic client 2. So from there it reaches to the client 2 because client 2 is listening to this particular topic. This is how WebSocket works in a nutshell. So we will be having different topics and user can listen to any topic, and whenever a message reaches that particular topic, then that message will be sent from server to the client, and then user can send to any mapping address which is mentioned in the server. So we will go to start.spring.io, and here we will make it as Java, and it is Maven project, and then Spring Boot version is 2.6.2, and the group name is com.involve in innovation, and then the artifact is chat server, and we will add two dependencies. One is WebSocket dependency, WebSocket, and the second one is Lambak. Lambak you might be already familiar. If not, I will just give a gist about Lambak. Lambak is used to reduce our boilerplate code. For example, you don't need to create your own getters and setters. You can deal those things with annotation, and then handling constructor, handling toString method, all these things will be taken care by Lambak. So Lambak is a Java annotation based library which is used to reduce the boilerplate code. So I am adding Lambak and WebSocket. For everyone to follow, I will make this as Java 8 because some of the interfaces are still in Java 8, so I am going ahead with Java 8. So you can choose any version as you wish. So now we have our chat server, and open this in IntelliJ IDEA. Now go to main, and in Java we have a chat server application. This is the basic Spring Boot application. So here we will create a new package inside this. So right click this and create new package and make it as config. So first we will start with creating configuration for our WebSocket. New Java class WebSocket config, and here this WebSocket config we need to annotate it with configuration, add configuration annotation, and then next we need to enable WebSocket message broker. So at enable WebSocket message broker, and then once you add this to annotation, we need to implement the interface which is WebSocket message broker configurer. So implements WebSocket message broker configurer. Once you implement the WebSocket message broker configurer, then we need to override two different methods. One is register stomp endpoints. This is to register the stomp endpoints, that is the WebSocket endpoints, and then next one is configure message broker. We need to implement these two methods. So the shortcut is Control I. So like we need to select register stomp endpoints, and then one more time Control I. So here in this case we need to select configure message broker. So remove this lines, no need this, and then remove this as well. So first we will add the stomp endpoints, registry dot add endpoint. This serves as a starting path for all our WebSocket connection. So here I am just giving it as WS, and then this is totally optional. Here in this case I want to allow the request from all different origins. Here I want to enable cross origin resource sharing for all the website. To do that, we need to set allowed origin patterns as wildcard. So here I am giving star. So here you can give your specific origin pattern with SOG.js. So we are done with our WebSocket configuration. Now we need to declare topics prefixes. So what are the different topic prefixes we have, and then we also need to give our application destination prefix. So this is the prefix in which the user will be sending the data to the server. So we need to set registry dot set application destination prefixes, and the next we need to declare topic prefixes. So enable simple broker. In this case I will give two different URLs as I mentioned. One is Chatroom and another one is user. The set user destination prefix. So we will see this in detail whenever we are creating client side, but for now I will declare the set user destination prefix user. So now we are done with all the configuration. We will go through this once again. First we started with stomp endpoints. The stomp endpoint prefix is /ws, and then we are allowing the resources from all the origin. That's why I gave this wildcard star, and then with sock.js. And then here in the second configured message broker method, we are creating the application destination prefix. I am naming it as /app, and then I am creating all the topics prefixes. So here I have created two different topic prefixes. One is Chatroom and another one is user. And also I have declared the user destination prefix as user. Now we will create the controller for our application. So we will create a package .controller, chat controller. So first I need to annotate this with @controller. Then I will create a simple DTO object or model object, and for this I will create a new package model, and then here I will create a simple Pojo Java class and I will name it as message. In this message class I will create attributes such as sender name, private string, sender name, and private string, receiver name, and then the content, the message content, private string message, and then private string date. For this tutorial we are not gonna use this date, and then I will create a enum as well, private status, and this status is a enum, and this one is status. So in this status enum I will add join, and then message, and then leave. And this is where our Lambda comes into the rescue. So here we no need to create the getter and setters, just we can add the annotation getter, and we can add the annotation setter. So this will automatically create the getters and setters, and we can also create no args constructor, and we can also do all args constructor, and we can also put our toString. And then now we will go back to our controller. First I will create a method which receives the data for Chatroom, and then it sends the message to the Chatroom topic, private, and this method returns the message, see public messages. Then this receives the payload, message and message. We are just returning this message here. We want the user to send the messages to this method, message mapping, and this message mapping is /message. Whenever the user sends the message to /message, then we will get message to this particular method. Whenever a message receives to this particular mapping, then we need to send this message to a topic, Chatroom and public. As you have already seen in the configurer, we have created two different topic prefixes. One is Chatroom and one is user. So here in this case I am using the Chatroom prefix. Whenever user want to send message to this WebSocket, then he need to send with this URL app followed by message, because we have given the application destination as /app, so he need to send it as /app followed by message. Whenever the user want to receive a message from this public Chatroom, then they need to listen to this topic, Chatroom and public. Create the private message method. So here in this case, message mapping is private message. So whenever the user sends message to /app private message, we will get the message here to this method, private message. So this method returns message. I make it as public message, receive private message, return message. Here we need to do one key thing. So here we are not declaring the topic like send to. So here we need to send message to the particular user. So we need to create topics dynamically. We should not use some hard-coded topic. So how to do that in Spring? So to do that, we need to use simp messaging template, and sim messaging template. I need to auto wire this. We can create a dynamic topics with this sim messaging template. So to do that, we need to use the sim messaging template object, sim messaging template dot convert and send to user. Here in this case we are using convert and send to user because if you use this method, then it will automatically take the user destination prefix which we have set in the config. So in this case it will automatically take the slash user prefix. So we are using convert and send to here user. So if you want to send to a different topics, for example, if your topics are generalized private topics, like if you want to create chat application based on interest, for example, if you want people to talk based on different animals, like in this case we need to use convert and send. Whenever you put convert and send to user, then automatically the slash user or whatever the prefix you have given in the user destination prefix will be automatically taken here. So in this case I want to take that prefix automatically, so I'm giving it as convert and send to user. And then second one is I need to send to the message dot get receiver. This is the prefix I want to listen, and then I want to add private with this prefix, and then we need to send the message there. The user wants to listen to this particular topic. He need to listen to slash user followed by the username. Here in this case we will make this as David, and then you need to listen to private. This is the topic name you need to listen if you want to listen to this particular username. So this David is dynamic here, so this will be sending to dynamic topics based on the receiver name which is present in the message. So now we have created our server. This is the complete configuration we need for creating this simple application. Now we will focus on the front end. As I mentioned before, we are targeting our application to be created on ReactJS. Chat client px create react app, and then this as chat app. So here I am creating a skeleton project, chat application with create react app, and this will take some time. Once this is done, we will be getting a nice skeleton project in React. And as I mentioned before, we are using the latest React which is available. In the meantime, we will try to start our application. Just go to chat server application, right click, and then run chat server application. So we got application fail. This is because another app is listening on the port 8080. And if you want to stop the application which is on the port 8080, we can do that with a simple command. Give netstat /ano find str followed by the port number. So in this case I want to stop the process which is using the port 8080. So here I know the process ID skill followed by /process ID PID number. Here in this case I need to stop 26252 /f. Now if you execute this again, you can able to see only one port. Now we will try to run the application again. Now the application got started successfully. Now we have successfully created our React skeleton project. Now we will go inside the chat application, and then we will open this in Visual Studio Code. Now we will try to remove the code which is not needed. So go to the source. We don't need the application CSS. Remove this one, and then we don't need app.test.js. Remove this. We don't need the logo SVG. Remove this, and then we don't need the report web vitals. Remove this. We don't need setup tests, so remove this, and then go to index.js and remove all this stuff here, and then remove this, and then this is perfectly fine. We need index.css. This is where we will keep all our styling comments. So here we don't need all this stuff. Remove this. Chat room. I will create a new folder and I will name it as component, and then here inside that I will create a new component name Chatroom.js. And now we are done with our basic setup. Some of the dependencies, as I mentioned, we need Stomp.js, we need Stomp, and then we need Sock.js. So to install a dependency and add that in package.json, we need to give the command npm install ri followed by the package name sock.js/client and then -- save. Next you need to install the Stomp.js. Now start the application, npm start, and this will open in the port 3000. So our application is started. I have created all the CSS beforehand, so you can find all the code, both the server and the client, in my GitHub repository, the link of which I have given in the description. So you can copy and paste this CSS from there if you want to follow along with me. First we will create what happens when we subscribe. I will create a simple useState. So this will hold the message details, connection details, and then whether we are really connected to the server, all those things. So I will give this as user data. The initial value is object, and this object has username, which is empty, and then receiver name is also empty. To know whether the user is connected or not, I will create a boolean variable here, connected. Initially it will be false, and then the message which the user want to send. Now we will give this as a class name container. All these class names are already present in the CSS index.css, so I am just using this class names here. Here I want to see whether the user is connected or not. So for that I will use a simple ternary operator, user data dot connected. If the user is connected, then I want to show the chat and then the chat box. So here div. So if the user is not connected, in that case I need to show the registry dialog. I will give the class name as register. I will create two different elements here. One is simple input element, and the next one is we need to create a button. This input element receives the name of the user. So for this I will create id equal to username, placeholder is enter the username, value here in this case. So it holds user data dot username. So user data dot username. On change we will create a new function, and for now I will give it as handle username, and we will create a button here. The button as connect. The type of this is button. On click we need to make sure we are registering the user. So on click we need to register the user. So we need to create two different functions. One is handle username and another one is register user. So const handle user name, and this receives the event as a parameter, and then here we will destructure that event. So const value equal to event dot target, and here set user data, then here 3 dots followed by user data, comma. Here we need to change only the username, and we are keeping all the other variables as it is. So we are giving 3 dots followed by the user data, and then here I'm entering the username. This is the attribute name followed by the value which we got here. Next we will create another method which is register user. So this register user doesn't take any parameter. So here we will create a new sock.js, and here in this sock.js we need to give our URL. So this URL we should give our server Websocket URL. So before that I need to declare our dependencies. So we need to import over from Stomp.js. We need to import sock.js from sock.js client. Next we need to register the user. Whenever the user clicks register, then we need to make sure the user is subscribed to all the channels which you want to listen, and then he is also connected to the WebSocket. First we will create a sock variable. So let sock new sock JS. This one is http://localhost 8080 followed by WS. Here this WS is the key because in our web server we have given the stomp endpoint as WS, so we need to use this particular endpoint here. So here I am using this stomp endpoint which is WS. If you have given a different endpoint, then you need to give it here. And then next you need to create a stomp client. I will initialize a stomp client outside this component where stomp client equal to null. I will initialize it with null, and once the user connects, then this stomp client will get the value. So stomp client equal to over the sock, and then stomp client dot connect, and then this takes 3 parameters. First one I am giving it as empty object, so I will just give on connected. We need to create this function, and then on error. So now we need to create 2 different functions. One is for onConnected and one is for const onConnected. This onConnected doesn't take any parameter. Then we need to set the user data. Here we need to make sure we are setting the connected to true because previously this is set to false. Whenever this connected is set to true, then only we will be getting rid of the registry screen and we will be going to the chat box. Here I am setting the connected to true. We need to subscribe to 2 different endpoints. One is this user need to listen to the chat room. Next he need to listen to himself. So whenever a user sends a message to him, then you need to listen to him. So for that I will listen to the topic /user followed by this particular username followed by private. This stomp client dot subscribe. First one is the topic name, so chat room public. Next one is the callback function. Here this callback function receives the message. I will add on public message received. Public message received stomp client dot subscribe /user plus user data dot username plus /private. So here we need to add a slash here, and then this also takes another callback function. So here I will give it as on private message received. So first we will create a callback function. So this callback function is on public message received, const on public message received, and this takes a payload, parse that JSON object. So let payload load data equal to JSON dot parse. So we need to parse the payload body because as I mentioned at the starting, this is a stomp message. So stomp message adds its own header and all other details. So we need to just get the payload. To just get the payload, we need to get payload.body. We will create a simple switch condition. This is to check whether what kind of message we are getting. In the public board, there can be 2 different messages. One when the user joins, and next when the user sends a message. Payload data dot status. So this payload status is nothing but the enum which we have created here. It has join, message and leave. So we want to create for join and message. Case, it is join, and then when the user joins in, this is what we need to do, break, and then we will create another case. This is for message. So we will create a new array where it will hold all the public chats. For that I will create a new use state, and this is public chats, and here it will hold the initial empty array. Public chats dot push payload data, and I'm pushing this to the public chats array, and then I'm setting this in the public chats. So set public chats, and I'm creating a new array and I'm copying this array to that array, because whenever I'm altering the particular array, then it won't be regarded as a state change. Whenever we create a new array, that's when it will be regarded as a state change. I'm creating a new array here and I'm copying all the public chats content to this one. Create on error method. So const on error. So we will get error here, and for now we will just console.log the error, and then here we need to create on private message received also. So on private message received. Now we need to set up the private message. So we will see how we can set up a private message. The simplest way to do this is create a new map, and here we can hold the map key as the username. Key is nothing but the receiver name, and then this user key will hold the list of messages which are sent by that particular username. Const private chats set private equal to use state, and here we need to give the initial value as map, because here we are using the map data structure. The map data structure, each key holds the username, and the value is the list of messages which are sent by that particular user. So here in this case, whenever the user receives some private message, we need to destructure that and we need to put it in the particular key. Let payload data equal to json dot parse payload. First we need to see whether the map has the username or not as a key. So if the map doesn't have the username key, then we need to create a new map and then we need to attach this. If not, then we can get that particular key value and then we need to add to that value and then set it in our private messages map. So to do that, first we will check whether the map is empty for that particular username or not. So here in this case, private chats dot get payload data dot sender name. So here in this case, we need to check for the sender name, because the receiver name will be always our name, because we need to receive all the messages sent to us. So in that case, we are receiving only the messages which are sent to us. So private chats dot get payload data dot sender name dot push, because whenever we are receiving this, we got the array here. So as I mentioned, this map will hold the key as a sender name and value as array of messages which are sent by that particular sender. So here I am trying to push into the existing array. Set private chats as new map. Why we are creating a new map here? That is because whenever there is a change in the private chats, and this won't be recognized by the state because we are not changing the object itself. So whenever you are creating a new map and assigning all the values of private chat maps, then it will create a new object, then it will be recognized as its state change. That's why we are doing it this way. Handle what if the sender name is not present. So for this, we need to create a new list dot push payload data dot set. Instead of getting the sender name value, we set, and here we need to set the list. So we will set the list here and set private chats equal to new map private chats. This is perfectly done. If a new user joins, then that time we need to create a new map, then the user can send messages. Copy this condition. So we are checking here if there is a value for in the map with the sender name. So if there is nothing, we need to create a new map. So create this. So in this case, we need to assign an empty array because we don't have any data, we don't have any payload. This is done. So we have added for join, we have added for on private message received, all those things now done. Incorporate everything here in this JSX. We need to write it as class name equal to, this class name is chatbox, and then here in this case, in the left hand side we need to hold the members list, and in the right hand side we need to hold the chat room. So for that I will create a member list in the left hand side, and then we will create another list. Li, the first element holds the chat room, and we also will have a list of other members. This list of other members will be received from the map keys. So private chats dot keys map. So here we will get each and every user name because that is what we have it as key, and then we will also get the index. I need to create a simple parenthesis. One key thing to note here is this should not be a flower brace, because if you are creating a flower brace, then you need to return your own return statement. If you are adding it as parenthesis, then whatever you are writing here will be returned automatically. Li, and then here we need to hold the members name list. So it holds name, class name. we will give it as member, and then the key as the index. Now perfect. This is the chat content. Class name equal to chat content. It should not be the private keys. Here it should be the public messages, public chats. So this should be the chat, and here this is message. If this message is sent by us, then the sender name should be present at the last, and if the message is sent by a different person, then the sender name must be present first. So sender name followed by message, and if it is sent by us, it is messaging followed by the sender. Chat dot sender name not equal to user data dot username. So if that is the case, then we need to set the avatar. So div class name avatar chat dot sender name. Now copy this again and paste it here, and here in this case, if it is equal to the username, then avatar, and we need to give a different color, so I am declaring it as self, and div followed by the class name message data, and then here inside that we need to give the chat message. Now we have done the basic chat room, but if you notice this, there is no link between this and the chat content. So this chat content will be always getting data from public chat. That is not nice, because based on the user click, then we need to select the chat content. If the user selects the public chat, then this should be available. If the user clicks an individual username, then it should select different user messages. So for that, I will create a new state and I will name it as tab, and that tab will hold whether it is a chat room or whether it is a particular user. New state, and here a tab. I am initializing this with chat room because that's what I need at first. Yes, now this is perfect, and we need to see if the tab equal to chat room, then we need to show this one. If not, we need to show a different one. So we will copy this again and we will paste it here. In this case, if it is not chat room, then we need to show a different message here. So here in this case, if user clicks on that particular chat room, then on click, then user need to set the tab value to chat room here. So set tab equal to chat room, and here we need to also change the class name based on whether the user click. So to do that, class name equal to flower brace member dollar tab equal to chat room, then we are setting as active. Here this class name is always set to member, and this active will be changed based on the tab value. If the tab value is chat room, then it is set to active, and this should be always the same here as well. So here instead of chat room, here this must be name. So if the name is equivalent to the tab name, then it should be set as active. So on click, we need to change as the particular name. Now we need to change this code. This is because this always gets the message from public chat. So here this must be like array, and here 3 dots, private chats, get tab, because this tab holds a username, so I can make use of this tab here. And then here we have chat, we have index, and everything is perfectly the same. We are done with our receiving part. Now we need to send messages both from chat room and then from the private block. So to do that, chat messages, and here we need to write our code to send message. Class name equal to send message, input type equal to text, and button send type equal to button, class name equal to send button, and on click we will name it as send public message. So we need to create a new function as send public message, and then here we'll make this as class name equal to input message, placeholder, enter public message, value equal to user data dot message, and on change we will create a new function handle message. So now we will copy this, paste it again here. So now we need to change this as handle message receives the same. So here we need to change it as enter private message for tab, and here instead of public message it must be send private message. Okay, now send button, that is perfect. Now everything is almost done. So we need to create 3 functions. One is send private message, send public message, and handle message. First we will create handle message. Handle message is easy. So we need to copy this handle username, and then we need to make it as handle message, and then here instead of username you can put it as message. So or else we can handle it in a different way, like handle value, and so here value and name, and here we can put as name. Now remove this one. Handle instead of handle username, so see there is only one place, and name equal to username. Paste it here, and here in this case the name is message, and here instead of message we need to put it as value, and copy this message here, name message, and here handle value. So const send public message. So we need to check whether the stomp client is not null. Stomp client, we need to create a new chat message. Let chat message equal to sender name colon user data dot username comma message user data dot message comma and status. Because we are sending a message here, so status is message. We have created a simple chat message object, and then stomp client dot send. So here we need to send message to app slash message, then we need to have an empty object comma json dot stringify. Stringify is the chat message object. After doing this, we need to set the user message as empty. So set user data comma message, and we need to set it as empty message. Now we are done with the public message part. Now we need to create a private message one. So send private message, sender name. Here we need to add the receiver name. Here the receiver name is nothing but the tab. So here we need to send this to the private message. One more thing we need to take care. So whenever we are sending a message to the particular private message, then you will be receiving only the message which are sent to you. You are not having the messages which you send to that particular user if the user data is not equal to the tab. That means if the sender and the receiver name is same, that means we are sending the message to ourselves. In this case, anyone will be receiving the message directly from the server, so we don't need to create 2 different copies. Private chats dot set tab dot push chat message, and set private chats new map private chats. Now we need to send a message to the server whenever the user joins. Copy this send public message, and then whenever the user is unconnected, so here I can add as user join const user join. So remove this, we don't need this one. We don't have any message to send, so we are removing the message, and then here the status is join, and here in this case we need to send message to app.message, and we don't need to clear the message here. So now we are done with almost everything. Now we see whether we got any issue in our client. We got error, handle value is not defined. Go back to the browser. Now we need to install one more dependency, which is net install net save. Now at least we are getting the initial screen, and I can able to see a chat room, and we will open inspect, and we can able to see everything works fine. Change. Okay, So we have case mismatch here. Control F, Control V, on change. We need to change it to capital C. Now we can refresh this again, see whether we got, at least we are not seeing any error. Perfect. So we will create another user, Augustine. Now we have two different users listed here. One is to us and one is to Augustine. Now we will try to send a message in public chat and hi all. If I send hi all, the message will be broadcast to everyone, and if I want to send message alone to Augustine, then I can send hi Augustine. If I click send, I think something is going wrong here. So go to console, you can able to see push is not private chats.set, push is not a function. Okay, let's see what happens here. Chatroom 98. Chatroom 98 set tab. Okay, the push is not a function. Okay, here this should be get. It's working now. And Augustine connected. Now I want to send message to Augustine and hi Augustine. Send. Okay, I think at least it is going here. And there is a problem here. The David is not coming back here. Oh, I believe the capital letter N is the issue creator. I think so. Perfect. I think the capital N will do the trick. Let's try again. Send hi Augustine. Send. Oh, okay. M and JSON at position like yeah, payload.body. We need to make sure we are parsing the body, not the complete payload. Now everything will work for sure. Now login as David, and then here login as Augustine, and then here send message to Augustine. So hi Augustine. Yeah, and now we can able to see a message, hi David, and message we are getting here. And then chat room, go to the chat room and send hi all, and send to hi. If you send to chat room hi all, then we are getting hi all here. And if you go to David, that means we are sending message to ourselves, hi me. Then we are getting a single message and we are not getting two messages here. So in this video we have seen how to create a simple Chatroom application with a SpringBoot backend and then ReactJS as frontend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.